Hello students, today will we discuss about character of Munnu Swami. Munnu Swami is a constable of the office of Suresh, the superintendent. His chief duty is to help Uma in her activities regarding her thesis and in normal course. He acts like a driver, but he is a worldly wise man, though he also reveals the characteristics of a typical policeman. He has influence upon the prisoners. Okay. First है Munnu Swami is a constable. When he goes to the prison cells with Uma for the first time, the prisoners are making a loud hue and cry, but as soon as he reaches there and introduces Uma, all of them are silent and salute Uma at his command in his behavior with the prisoners. Next, he is a merciless. Munnu Swami is a merciless and believes in keeping them under his full control. Uma suspects if Anarkali would be ready to talk to her, and he replies in an authoritative manner, "She of course it will talk to you. We will beat it up if it does not." He feels that perhaps Anarkali is misbehaving with Uma, and he at once cries, "Beat it, kick the hijras." He has no sign of regret or sympathy when Anarkali is badly eaten. Next, obedient and faithful. But in spite of all this, he is always loyal, obedient and faithful. As a practical man, he advised Uma many times from time to time. He most humbly says, "If you don't mind me saying, what is the use of talking with it?" He stresses the fact that they are always liars and one cannot believe even a single word they say. He requests Uma, "Why do you want to bring this shame on your family? I beg of you, go home." He is in a way a well-wisher and a guide, and everywhere his sincerity is quite obvious, which cannot be suspected in any case. At the red light, he wants Uma to close the window to save herself from the rush of the beggars. Later, Uma asks him to take her to Shivaji Nagar, the colony of the Hijras, and Munnu Swami is stunned. He does not know what to do because the safety of Uma is his responsibility. "My duty is to protect you," he requests her. "It is dangerous for you to go there. Please understand, if something happens to you, then I am responsible." But the poor constable is helpless when he finds Uma adamant and he has to go there unwillingly. We see the same hesitation at the order of Uma, that they will now go to the palace garden because he knows that it is the residence of the deputy chief minister, and says, "Madam, we cannot go to the minister's house." In spite of all this, Munnu Swami always remains in the background at the end of the play. He appears only once for a few seconds when he comes running to inform Uma that the group of hijras has reached here at the wedding of Subbu. He is a minor character, but his practical wisdom and dutiful behavior make him impressive. Munnu Swami's disgust of the degraded pupil like the hijras is quite obvious. He humbly requests Uma to leave her choice of studying this case and meet the hijras. He tells her that apart from this single case of the murder of a Hijra by another Hijra, there are so many other murder cases of various types and she cannot select any out of them. The whole Almira is full of the files of such murder cases in which the man killed his wife. The wife killed the lover of her husband, the brother killed the other brother, and many such others. They are also as important and interesting as this case. There are so many cases of dowry murder which may serve her purpose. He very humbly asked her if she is ready to change her topic. She may select any of them and he will ask the peon to dust the files. The dialogue threw light on the loyalty of Munnuswamy and his hatred for the persons like the Hijras, and at the same time we come to know about the condition of the degraded society where even the relatives murder each other for nothing. Uma very well knows that the purpose of her project is to show their real position in the society which they are considered the most degraded, though they also keenly desire for family. And here Uma is thinking about a great irony in the life of the poor Hijras. Normal life, they are almost cut off from the mainstream of social life. They are not recognized anywhere, but it is only on two occasions in life of the Hindus where their appearance is acceptable even for the point of view of culture. It is considered to be ominous, which is certainly that they are welcome at the marriage and childbirth. It is again once, but it is the same privilege that God and nature has snatched from, and in their own life they are devoid of this pleasure. The enjoyment marriage taking 7 rounds around the fire god is prohibited in them by nature. The men and women are with each other for every day. Ever by this process of ceremony and Munnuswamy has called Anarkali the office of the superintendent, where Uma has come to talk to her once again. This time Anarkali talks to Uma more openly and frankly, and is no hesitation. Uma comes out of her home where Munnuswamy is waiting for her and gets into her car. She tells him that now they are going to the quarter of Salim at number 12 Palace Road, but Munnuswamy warns her that they cannot go there directly in this way because it is residence of the minister. Uma informs him that according to the newspaper report he is in America and so there is no difficulty. At Munnuswamy's hesitation, she removes his cap and tells that he should say that he is on leaves because his father is unwell. Uma knows that Munnuswamy has been visiting this place many times and can take her there easily. She tells him that according to her information, Salim often came to see Kamala and wanted to marry her. At this, he laughs at the idea of man marrying a Hijaz. Uma feels that Champa and others are hiding some facts from her and concludes that if anyhow she succeeds in winning their faith, her work would become quite easy and they will talk to her openly about themselves. They reach the gate of the minister's residence. Munnuswamy orders the watchman to open the gate and they reach the servants' courtyard. He asks about Salim and the man, frightened of the police, comes forward. Uma tells him that she wants to talk to his wife, but Salim tells that her mother is not well and so she has gone to her village. Uma knows that he is telling a lie and so adjures him. that they will not arrest her, rather only ask a few questions. She knows that she must be hiding somewhere at this place. Salim is now afraid and confesses that he is not yet married. Uma thinks that it means that Anarkali were telling lies. The Salim's wife killed Kamla. In the meantime, Salim makes the confession that he has killed her. Uma wants to know when he had done so on the everyday when he was getting married with her. Salim is now disappointed and requests her not to make him shameful because it will defame his family and he cannot then marry his two sisters. Just then Mr. Sharma, the minister, appears there and asks them why they have entered there without permission. Uma assures him that they have come there in the interest of everybody and then introduces him herself and tells him that she could not take any appointment with him because she thought he was in America. Now she tells him that she wants to talk to him privately about his bodyguard Salim. Both of them go in outside. The people talk variously about Salim. Some say that he was a fool to marry a hijab while he could get a good girl, and some say that they already suspected his character, but Salim is fearless and is sure that his master will certainly bring him out of this difficulty. In the room, after talking with Uma, Mr. Sharma is satisfied that she is doing all this for her thesis and that she thinks that Salim loved Kamla and has killed her. Uma assures that she is investigating, so it is important to take Salim to police station for further inquiry. Both of them expresses great surprise why Salim has killed her. And Mr. Sharma suspects that some of the Hiras must have bribed him to kill her.